Hello once again, everyone. Welcome to a whole nother video. This time the locals is at a new shop that opened up in my area. I'm kind of glad that gives me another location I can go to, place where I can, another locals to support and be able to meet more people that aren't able to go to the ones that I'm normally used to going to without having to travel far as well. Now, as you can see, or from what little you can probably see, I am playing not Rika. For some of you that are not familiar with what the card art is, I am playing Vaylantz this time. Now, why Vaylantz? Well, good question. I thought Vaylantz is a very fun deck. I've built this deck, just for the sake of building it, why not? And then I've been thoroughly enjoying it. It's been such a fun deck to play, and I've not had much of any main issues personally with the deck as far as just playing it and getting everything going. I mean, I will admit, it is a very hard deck. This deck is insanely hard because you have to pay attention to your columns. You have to manage your monsters' position and moving them adjacent columns and down to spell trap zone and back into the monsters on the same column and not having to block yourself off. That part in itself was the hardest one for me, and I took it once to another local, the one I normally go to on Mondays, but that one was not close. I actually was unable to record any footage on that day, so I was kind of sad, but spoiler alert, I played against Tier. We never finished game 1, but I burned for time. But I think the play I did here is I just went into it wasn't a very good play because Beyond the Pendulum stayed on the board, and I could have gone into an Appaloosa, at least a 3-negate Appaloosa, but instead of that I ended up going into a just keeping Beyond the Pendulum on, and then I went into Grand Duke and just placed Grand Duke in the spell trap zone. So my opponent is actually a friend of mine. We talk a lot and share whatever random ideas, and he's playing Kashtira Adventure, with Bestials, which I thought was actually a pretty neat deck and neat idea, because he wanted to build it with intention of being able to deal with Tier, which, fair enough. The deck is rampant, the deck is insane, the deck is very hard to deal with, but here we are. So they're getting their play, they have their adventure token, we got the Draco back. I wasn't too worried about their choices here. You see the Astral Karibo, and then we're going into this big level 7 creature. But I wasn't too worried about the Draco back, because as long as I could keep Grand Duke, and as long as I could keep... Actually, I really just wanted to keep Grand Duke. They ended up bouncing my face on, which was an Imperm. And field spells. That's what I was trying to go about. As long as I can keep those, I can make my play. I can destroy the Draco back, and then by putting that Xyz monster they brought out in there, and then Shinra Banshou, special summon back the Grand Duke, bounce it back, burn, and then also get more attack. Which, spoiler alert, I do end up doing that here in this game, but the one thing I do notice I struggle with when I play this deck is establishing a strong combo line. Now you can see right there is what I did, what I mentioned. I pushed back, special summon. It was a little confused because he didn't understand how that worked, but we got it all figured out. Young Voltage Viscount out on the front, and Voltage Viscount is actually a very good card for this deck because you just bring them out and you can place a Vaylantz in a spell trap zone. You can place a what's it called? If it's moved, you can place one in the Pendulum Zone, which you see me do right here, I think. Yeah, I put Hojo there. And this is kind of one of the situations where I was talking about where the columns are awkward here. So I didn't know what to do here because I can't move Hojo, so I can't go into a fusion. So I just went ahead and got into the Beyond the Pendulum, and she's already been negated before, so that's why I went into this second one, because I wasn't worried about any other negates. He had no face downs. I didn't see any anything that would bother me here, so I was free to kind of pop off a little bit here, but I did have to be mindful of where I was going. Now, I get healed for Legal Knight, which is very annoying. I'm just sitting there like, well, I have a big scale. I can't do anything with this. Plot twist, actually could, because I forgot I had Celine in the freaking extra deck. I don't know how I forgot that. That would have been kind of useful had I remembered that. But, you know what? These things happen. We're all human. We forget what we have sometimes. That was something I shouldn't have forgotten. And, yeah. It's whatever. Anyways, I get hit with the Illegal Knight once again. Actually, no. I didn't get hit with the Illegal Knight. I still had that Illegal Knight. Nothing could happen. So, we're just kind of in this weird, funny situation of we're kind of in a stalemate because he didn't draw anything that could out me at this current moment, which I'm kind of glad because I would have probably struggled had I done that. So I get out Scion, then you send a switch to move Scion, I target the token and I get tails, which I bounce it. If I got heads, it would have been destroyed, but the problem is it couldn't have been destroyed. So we're doing this thing. Then I'm just kind of thinking here. I forgot what happened. But I'm just thinking, what do I want to do here? Oh yeah, he ended up getting rid of the monster, and then I just make it to a Boral load, and then it was right there. We scoop and we go into game 2. Yeah, game 2. This game 1 lasted very long, primarily because of me. I'm actually the main person at fault for that because my turn 1 just took so long. I had to make sure I was doing the right play, which, you know, if I'm still learning the deck, I'm going to make these mistakes. I'm not going to understand very well on how I want to approach the play. And then, of course, when I get interrupted, I need to understand where I want to try to recover that. So playing it at a local is, you know, pretty good because then I can get that idea and some first-hand, real-life experience. But, of course, when you're under that timer, it becomes a bit more difficult. And yeah, I don't know what to tell you about that part. Just hope your opponent's cool and doesn't get mad because you're taking 40 minutes on your turn 1 and then you barely get into a game 2 and then first person to lose 100 life points loses because it's amazing like that. Anyways, I don't think I started off very strong. Oh yeah, no, I had Mad Marquis, so I brought up Mad Marquis because I had the field spells out. Mad Marquis, I grabbed Noski. Noski wasn't really going to be very useful for me here just because there wasn't anything I could do. So I just went ahead and used his effect to move the Mad Marquis so I could go into Grand Duke. Which was a very good play. I probably should have gone to Beyond the Pendulum looking at this in hindsight, but actually no, I couldn't go into Beyond the Pendulum because we were very low on time. So I just wanted to establish myself in a pretty strong position here. He kind of made a little bit of a misplay there as far as his attacking order, so I was going to try to attempt to get back Grand Duke so I could burn, but I ended up getting that prevented, I think, here. But you see the combo started here. Shinonome plays solo activation. That card is amazing. Solo activation is probably one of the best things to have happened to this deck, and I'm all here for it. But that first game ended in a draw because of time. We could have gone to a game 3, could have potentially won. It's hard to say, honestly, because probably had options as well. So here's game 2, and this one was against Exo Sisters. And my opponent wanted to emphasize that they are a returning player, that they've been off the game for about 10 years, I believe is what they said. And, you know, I respect that, I commend that, because I was also off the game for quite some time. I haven't played the game ever since the end of Teledat format. After that format, kind of when I ended up taking a hiatus from playing the game. And coming back to it from then was pretty difficult because there was so much more to learn and there was so much information to deal with. But you see I'm popping off. There were no interruptions here. I was afraid of a Nibiru, so I kind of wanted to get into an Appaloosa. But I'm able to do everything. Mad Marquis, Shinonome, the whole combo line, Pendulum Summon. I'm able to just pop off here and not have to worry so much about anything. And I knew when my opponent was playing because I saw them play earlier, and they were playing, and that's how I knew they were playing Exo Sisters. Do I do a 4 negate Appaloosa here or a 3 negate? Yeah, I think that's how. There were 4 monsters on the board. It was almost a full board. So yeah, it's 4 negate Appaloosa. I did a Buster Baron, bring out Mad Marquis. Now, I'm trying to figure out why I did that play with the Man Marquee. When I moved I put Shinonome down there. I want to say my thought process behind it was to have it in a position for Grand Duke and then have Shinonome for next turn. But then you see the Harpy's Feather Duster. I'm just sitting there thinking, I should have just been more patient. I didn't have to establish anything. Voltage Viscount I was going to have, I think. And if I didn't have it, I would have been able to get Voltage Viscount back some other way. Or, you know, something along those lines, so I didn't have to end up risking anything like that. They go into Martha, I negate Martha, then I end up getting hit with, oh yeah, Carpe Divum. So, Appaloosa is now negated, so I don't have anything. So I'm like, well, you know, at least I used a negate on something that mattered, I think. They go into Michaelis. I'm getting stuff blasted. Monster gets banished. We're not looking like we're having a fun time here, but Buster Baron stays on the board, and I'm actually happy about that. So I activate the field spells, and this is when we start going to Frown Town for them. What do they activate? Oh, right. I activated Solo Activation's Graveyard Effect, and this is something that they also mentioned that they had misplayed on. I think I might be getting ahead of myself there. Oh yeah, because the target disappeared. That's why they did that. Because I used Koenig to try to push back Michaelis, and then this is when I used the Graveyard Effect for Solo Activation. Then they changed. I think it was Vadis. They changed Vadis, which on their part was a misplay, and they did point that out that they should have activated it a lot sooner. Had they, I guess, because they didn't know I was gonna have any graveyard effects. Because I'm a pendulum deck. Pendulums don't necessarily go into the graveyard. And then I had to read, no, it wasn't Solo Activation, it was Place of Beginnings. I had to reread Place of Beginnings because it said Monster, not, what's it called? Speller Trap. So, you know, Pendulum Summon. I get back Shinonome. Shinonome is the best option for me to get at this time because she would have gotten me that. She would have placed my Hojo. I would have been able to kind of do everything. Voltage Viscount, doing the work here. And then I'm just thinking, because right here, I'm stuck. For some reason, I'm stuck. I'm thinking, I need to activate this. I need to activate Solo Activation. But how? Because if I activate it, they're going to pop off. And then I remembered, I can go into battle phase. So I do, and I swing over both of them. The problem with playing a complicated deck is you forget very simplistic actions that you can do that do matter. And then we use Momonaka to push back because the effect is amazing, and then Grand Duke push back and we swing for game. I cannot tell you how many times I forgot to grab back my Shindrabancho or Konegoisen from the opponent. Just because, especially if we have same color sleeves, it's so easy to forget about it. So we're over here siding. Side deck was actually one of the things I was a little curious and concerned about as far as building the deck, because I don't know necessarily what I want to side with this deck. I was just thinking maybe go second options, possibly board breakers of some kind. I'm not exactly sure what I want here. Do I want like lava golems? Do I want dark rule, or do I want lightning storms? What do I want here? I forgot what I even sided in this game. I don't think I got to see any of them at all anyways. So we side in, you know, the whole power shuffle shenanigans. And that's also one thing with new decks too. Whenever I'm learning a new deck, it's always rough for me in that first initial build. When I make that build, is this competent? Is this adequate? Do I like how this works? Am I content with the hands that I make? And am I content with the plays that I can make? I think questions like that I usually try to ask, and that's why going out to these locals is able to help so much with that, because you're able to see firsthand what you can do. Anyways, they do the Eldritch board. We got Michaelis on the board and 3 face down, so I'm sitting here thinking, I know one of them is a problematic card. I don't know what the other two are. So I'm going to see if I can bait something out. Use Solo Activation. I go for Scion instead of Shinonome. I forgot exactly why. So I use Scion's Summon, and then I declare his effect. Responds with Returning, I think it was. I forgot what it was. Shinonome gets Ash. I'm just sitting here thinking, I don't necessarily mind that, to be honest, because Ash Blossom just negates that one effect. But Ash Blossom does not negate this effect. So we go into Hojo. Place Hojo. Special summon Hojo. And then, oh yeah, it was Gozen match. That's what they had activated on me. So I'm like, okay, I can still get around this. Hojo, target Gozen match, bounce it back. Because that kind of, because the Gozen match does slow me down. Gozen match prevents me from, you see Madam Marquis in the wrong column. Gozen match prevents me from, what is it? Using the other Vaylantz monsters, or even going into Beyond the Pendulum. So having Hojo was the best choice in that, my opinion, for that play. Then, you know, I attempt to pop off here. I think we're reading some graveyard effects here. What do I do here? Oh yeah, I go into Momonaka. I think I have Appaloosa out on the board here. Voltage Viscount would bring back the Mad Marquis. I'm not doing a whole lot here, so I'll just push back. I have a big Appaloosa here, so I'm hitting for 20. Oh yeah, it was 2400 Appaloosa, so I hit for a pretty good amount of damage, and I passed my turn. No, funny thing with Momonaka is their effect is quick effect main phase. So I thought about doing it right here, but then I was thinking I could probably do this when it's someone more impactful, because if I did it on one of them, they could possibly summon out another monster like Martha, and then still go in. So they do that. I use Momonaka, push it back, and then we end the game there. Now this one, I honestly don't even want to show this clip because I was sad playing this one. And it wasn't necessarily about the deck that I was playing against. I was playing against branded Thunder Dragon, and they played pretty well. You see the hand in the center there, the universal sign of I have nothing to do, or have nothing to play. So I attempt my best at trying to pop off here, and I think there was an issue that I had here. I don't remember what it was. Oh, now I remember. I didn't really have the strongest board that I would have liked, but it was something. I think I ended up doing a 3-negate Appaloosa here. Yeah, 3-negate Appaloosa, just because I wanted something there. I think I used Voltage Viscount, put back, is that Baron? Yeah, put back the Baron into the spell and trap zone. I was thinking, you know, I could probably possibly have this for another turn, another play next turn, but I'm not sure. I can't really use Appaloosa effectively here because she's getting chain blocked, so I'm just whatever. I guess I can stop the tragedy. Tragedy itself doesn't really hurt me. I think it was a tragedy, as they say. I'm not sure, but the one thing I kind of wanted to stop was Branded Fusion. But of course, when you chain block Alibur, you can't stop Branded Fusion unless you have something like Imperm or what have you. And then of course with the Lubellion, that gets chain blocked too because of what? I forgot what. I think it was Edgem Chain that chain blocked Lubellion from there. But they're doing their play. I have a 2-negate Appaloosa now, and I know they're trying to bait something out. And with the Quertus was a pretty good choice here, just because it reduces attack to 0. So I feel forced to negate that effect, and then, you know, banish it with Mirror Trick because it's once per chain. So, you know, run over both my monsters. I was thinking, okay, I can still try to make a play here, but I need to think well. I know there's Brendan Red there, so I will just attempt to Pendulum Summon. Pendulum Summon the War Monster from my hand. Kendo is putting in work for me. Oh wait, no, they didn't. So I think after I get banished here, I just end up going into just saying, you know, I don't got much of a play. So game 2, I was like, okay, you know what, it happens. I didn't have the strongest hand starting out, so I couldn't really make the ideal board I wanted to. Granted, I'm still not sure what my ideal board even is, but you know, that's the thing about learning a new deck. You know, you always want to go into that learning process, and that's what I like too. That whole learning process is fun. It's enjoying. It can, well, it depends on what you're playing up against. Playing against a Shizu tier, then no one's enjoying that. But it's just fun and interesting to do. It helps you learn a lot more. It helps you think outside the box as a player as well. So, you know, we go into game 2, and I am sad. My house is a brick. I chose to scoop here, but I wanted to, they're like, are you sure? I was like, yeah, I mean, you're arguing to know what I have in my hand. I can try to play it out, but I know there isn't a whole lot that I can do here. So, you know, I attempt to play it out. I'm just thinking, Well, you know, field spell. I can bring out Noski. Noski can be a body, and yeah, that's about it. I just kind of ended it there, but I do hope you all enjoyed, and as always, I do have my deck list there. I'm going to change it up a little bit, going to see what different I can do to make it, and hopefully we can get some better wins going on in the future. Some new tech choices, I don't know, we'll see. But I do hope you all enjoyed, and I should be doing these at the beginning of the video, but what was something new that you tried that you enjoyed very much, that might have helped you or not helped you, but you were glad you tried it out anyways? Do let me know down in the comments below. That will be our question for the day. And as always, I hope you all have yourselves a wonderful, wonderful day, evening, afternoon, morning, whatever it may be for you. Eat good, sleep good, play good, keep that mind good. And as always, until next time.